In today's video I want to talk to you all about personal grooming. I will be talking about personal grooming in 5 different areas. The first will be body hair, then skin and hair and feet, then the hair on your head, and then body odor. And I know body odor is kind of more hygiene based, but I want to throw it into this video as well. So let's jump right in talking about body hair. You want to kind of maintain at least your lip hair, which I do think is very important to maintain. You can get one of those at home waxing kits as well. Another area of facial hair that you might want to be mindful of is chin and jawline. I want to talk to you about is skin and skincare. Do these tips that I'm going to tell you. Nothing is better than having that glowy dewy look that we all long for, and there are some ways that you can get this at home. The first one you can get this glowy look at home is to incorporate drinking a glass of lemon water first thing in the morning every day. Lemon water, 15 gallons of water a day. That's my clear skin regimen, and I used to be like, oh, this is silly, especially if you have dealt with having acne prone skin and you read those thing water first thing in the morning. Actually, lemon is very detoxifying and it's very brightening. I know if you watch other skincare videos a lot of times, or in particular the natural skincare videos, a lot of times they will incorporate lemon into like a face mask because it is very brightening, and it sort of does the same thing on the end, so it detoxifies and it helps you glow from the inside out. If you can't take an organic lemon and mow it in some water, the next thing that you're gonna want to start doing, if you're not doing it already, is incorporating an SPF of some kind before you go outside for the day. Have an SPF 30 facial moisturizer that I wear first thing in the morning. Before I started using Derma Plus, I used the CeraVe SPF oil-free moisturizer and it was SPF 30, and that one was amazing as well. It's so important to protect your skin from harsh rays from the sun, and also to kind of make sure that any dark spots you have, any dryness that you might have, doesn't get irritated by the sun. Incorporate that into your morning skincare routine. It is very important. The next thing that I do is try to incorporate a lot of foods that promote healthy skin. So a lot of salmon, almonds, broccoli, strawberries, really, you know what's healthy for you, and you know what's probably going to make your skin look beautiful and what's probably going to make your skin look dull. Sugar and dairy and gluten are particularly detrimental to your skin if you are already prone to having acne or to having problematic skin, so stay away from dairy, gluten and sugar. Facial steamer is a great thing to incorporate into your skincare routine. They're not super expensive. Facial steamer is a great tool to have in your sort of skincare self-care regimen, because when you go to get an actual facial, they're usually putting that hot steam on you while they are giving you the facial, because it helps to open up your pores and get any gunk, any dirt that has clogged up your skin out. So having that at home kind of gives you the ability to have sort of professional grade level of a facial, just much less expensive. The ice rollers are some sort of cold icy cool to kind of calm down any redness or any inflammation is really important. So you can find like ice rollers. You don't want to exfoliate every single day. That's a mistake that I think a lot of people make initially when starting like a skincare routine, a skincare journey, is you think that you have to scrub, but you don't. In fact, you want to do the opposite. You want to be incredibly gentle on your skin, so you only want to exfoliate maybe 3 times a week. Important to protect your skin from harsh rays from the sun, and also to kind of make sure that any dark spots you have, any dryness that you might have, doesn't get irritated by the sun. Incorporate that into your morning skincare routine. It is very important. The next thing is a lot of foods that promote healthy skin. So a lot of salmon, almonds, broccoli, strawberries, really, you know what's healthy for you, and you know what's probably going to make your skin look beautiful and what's probably going to make your skin look dull, smooth and glowy. Okay, let's move on to hands and feet. This is going to be quick. Your hands are very important. They say a lot about you. It's funny, my family always makes fun of my hands. They're so soft. They call them like princess hands. They don't do any work, whatever. But here are the ways that you can have really nice personal grooming for your hands and feet at home. The first thing you can do is get one of those foot bath things where you can put your feet in, kind of give yourself an at-home pedicure. It is really nice. Now of course you could also just like put your feet in your tub if you have a tub, but if you don't have a tub, this is a really great option. I think people often neglect their feet and neglect the heels of their feet, so I think it's really important to have like a foot bath things. You can soak your feet and make sure that they remain soft and smooth and that they're not crusty and cracking on the heel. That is not a good look for anyone. There are some that are more expensive. Now moving on to your hands, this is actually something I want to invest in. I'll probably buy sometimes in the next week a cuticle clipper. Is it just me, or is it like really satisfying when you're getting your nails done and they go in and they take off the cuticles? That is my favorite. That's probably the reason why I get manicures. Your nail care at home, you can also get a nail file. I'm sure most people have a nail file, but actually I don't. I actually learned this from my mom. She has always been one to keep a nail file in her purse and just kind of like, trim up the edges and make sure that they look really nice just at all times, or when she's like bored in the waiting room for something, just like trimming it up a little bit, making sure that it looks presentable. I think the most important thing with nail care and with your nails is just making sure that they are clean. Then they're clean and presentable. Like, you don't want to have a lot of dirt under your nails and a lot of hang nails, things like that, which I am looking at my nails right now, and honestly I'm not thriving. But to be fair, you guys know that I love getting my nails done and I haven't been able to do that in a while, so I'm gonna have a little grace for myself. Keep a little thing of lotion in your purse. I do this. I keep a little mini, I used to keep a little mini Bath and Body Works lotion in my purse that I could just make sure that I'm moisturizing my hands and keeping them soft. You can make your own if you'd probably just take like coconut oil and mix it with a shea butter and an essential oil. You can probably make your own lotion. The next thing that we're going to talk about is hair. Your hair care is obviously very important. Now this is going to be different for everyone depending on your hair texture, depending on your hair type. There is no one size fits all personal grooming or hygiene tip for hair care because everyone's hair is different. For example, I do not wash my hair every day. I do not wash my hair every other day. Depending on your hair texture, you might not wash your hair every single day. You might wash it once a month. Whatever the case, know what works best for you and what works best for your hair and do that. So don't neglect your hair. It is very telling when you have been neglecting your hair, and if it's not telling in the way that it looks, it might be telling in the way that it smells. So you want to make sure that you are taking the proper care of your hair consistently. If you can't handle having long hair, don't have long hair. Cues having long hair is it's a job. Maybe you're busy, maybe you have a really demanding job or something and it's just getting in your way. Then maybe consider getting a haircut. Get something a little bit more manageable. It's not going to take away from your womanliness or your femininity. Next thing is body odor. Humans don't smell. It's our glands, apricot glands, that let off a very tasty and product for bacteria, and bacteria are what feed off of this. The sweat glands release oil. It's food for bacteria. So some of us they do, and some of us have certain genes that dictate what bacteria may like that off production, and then they serve either. So some natural ways, very effective ways, and natural, and that's important because there's a lot of chemicals and things out there in the market today that we should probably be avoiding. So medical concerns to keep note of. Me, if yours is your breasts really sweet smelling, that's a possible concern for diabetes, either on its way and or your sugar is not really balanced that well, and other things. If you have unusual smell that's out of the blue, could be a hormonal change or fluctuation. When I get that sounds like orally or you're anywhere in the body, and I'll put it this way, it is a sinus symptom that you want to report to your medical practitioner as a possible cause for concern. It also presents your doctor like this and say, am I okay? What's up? Right? If something's completely out of the ordinary, we're not talking about a 3-hour workout. You're stinky, you're supposed to psych. After that, the common causes are foods as well, and smoking. We know alrighty. I mean, for your bad breath, there could be a tooth problem happening. Absolutely. An abscess. Dr. Colleges, by the way, 4% the population of a very unusual thing called tonsil lifts, which is a Greek term for rock in the tonsil. It's our rock tonsils. And if you coughing up this really hard little globule and it stinks very badly, you want to look into the tonsils and irrigate the tonsils, because that's the solution. Even gargling with salt will be the solution, but that is a major cause for bad breath. So got the doctor for that. Consider that. Okay, let's talk about natural things that you might want to use when it comes to your topic. So there's a lot on the market. Sage is a really interesting concept, especially when you're menopausal, because you have hot flashes and you tend to sweat. Sage, both taken orally, it's available in a tincture form and or applied topically, can actually help to manage excessive sweating. Remember, I mentioned sweat doesn't smell. It's a bacteria that grows off of the sweat, and interesting enough, in a postmenopausally and those people that have actually by a condition called hyperhidrosis, excessive sweating, do really well from taking sage internally. Okay, so you take this along with Wearing a regular like antiperspirant. Well, you know what, I want to avoid the antiperspirant. Stopping sweating is probably not an excellent idea. It's one of the ways in which we detoxify. Right. Actually, by the way, girls are very sensitive, much more than us guys. Walk into a guy's change room and you'll know right away, and we don't really care about it. Women are like, what the heck's going on, and they're growing in there for that matter. No, the reason why we want to refrain from antiperspirant as often as possible, and admittedly I use them once in a blue moon because of the aluminum chlorohydrate, and aluminum we know is a major issue with Alzheimer's. Okay, so if we're not absorbed through our skin, now also beware and be cautious of the rock salt of the world. Although these are all alum, potassium, alum, and some suggestive resources that doesn't get into us because they're larger molecules, it's still aluminum. So I like deodorants. People make the mistake between antiperspirant deodorant all the time. Here's a natural one that you can make at home, simply taking a little, one of these applicators, makeup applicators, some baking soda, which is what we're looking at here, and I tend to like citrus. Do you like citrus? Colors nice and flat, right? Nice and fresh smelling. So a couple of dabs of this organic lemon extract, which is also, by the way, edible. We can make a mouthwash out of this, right? A couple of dabs like this, and you dab that into baking soda. Soda did and almost everything it doesn't it? So universal cleaner and deodorize it. Well, why do we put it in our fridge? It's because it deodorizes, right? She dabbed that on, and that's a very effective deodorant. Okay, we're still sweat, which is okay, there's nothing wrong with that, and most of us don't sweat so much that actually drenches our shirts unless we're actually excessive stretchy. Well, and some of us do. Maybe that's about hyperhidrosis, in which case on my face, but I sweat like a something called vegetable glycerin, and I'm gonna use this on your hands. And again, if you like citrus, a little bit of vegetable glycerin citrus, you can put this under your arms. Yeah, you can even add a little bit of the baking soda that goes on arms and feel that consistent to make a cream out of this as well. Smell that'll actually help to subdue or reduce sweating. Moving on real quickly to oral health, because if your periodontitis, and that's inflammation of the gums, that is bacteria growing in the mouth in excess, there's ways which to manage. That's the number one cause for bad breath. Okay, so remember to scrape your tongue, remember to brush your teeth like your dentist says a couple times a day. Last thing you do, but it's not better than flossing, then it's an example of flossing because are gonna get between your teeth. But what you can do with this is you can take something like tea tree oil, and you dip this in tea tree oil or clove oil, by the way. Okay, dentists even use this. You dip this in clove oil and then go between your teeth, and each separate part in your teeth you go right between your teeth, and that'll actually kill the bacteria that you're missing often when you brush. And you're at the restaurant, you've had some garlic cues, that's also very healthy for you. Just remember to ask the maitre d' to bring you a bowl full of parsley. Any parsley will do, there's all kinds of variations. Dip that in either a little vinegar, just chew on it. Yeah, so you're really a natural alternative to a breath freshener, which often will contain certain forms of chemicals. Lastly, that will clear your palate, a medium your palate, and that the particular natural ingredients found in parsley are actually bacterial static. Okay, good garlic. Yeah, real bad breath. Why a garlic so bad breath? Else actually help to cure sinusitis, another contributing cause to bad breath. If you're walking around with a subclinical chronic sinusitis bacteria and you go to the back of the throat, out this particular stuff, a limax or garlic extract, which is a non-odorous form of garlic, will kill the bacteria, and then you want to follow that.